Sky Squad, we are back in the building, baby, and we got to talk about Love and Marriage DC Season 1, Episode 6, Emotional Overload. Okay, now before we actually get into this episode, I want to talk about something that was revealed on the Nightcap with Carlos King last night with Ashley, okay, DJ Quicksilver, as well as your girl, Tiffany Whitlow. Now, one of the pieces of tea that we got from last night's episode was that Ashley had reached out to the ladies of Love and Marriage Huntsville before the season of Love and Marriage DC began to actually do a couple of lives with the ladies in order to promote the new season. But she reveals that she only heard from one individual, and that individual was Tiffany Whitlow. Now, the two of them did kind of throw some shade at each other last night on the episode of The Nightcap with Carlos King. Chime down in the chatterization if you happen to catch that tea. But it's interesting to me that nobody reached out. Now, it could have been a couple of different things. One, you know how sometimes if you don't follow somebody back on Instagram, it could be that you may never see that request. You may never see what that person sent you because it's just, on the back end of the Instagram, the DMs, I mean, it's a shambles for me. Anyway, it's a shambles for me. I mean, when I look at my DMs, I get a little bit overloaded and I just kind of shut it down. I do. So if you're ever reaching out to me, you want to get me immediately. I mean, it's a couple of people that stay at the top because I talk to them most frequently. But other than that, I'd be like, I barely see them things. So if you're trying to, reach me or something like that, shoot me an email. That's the best way. Now, with that being said, now I don't know if she and Tiffany ever went live or anything like that. But what I will say is, own as a little tip, for what y'all could be doing social media wise and promoting these shows is take a little note from Bravo and get these ladies to do lives based on the Bravo account specifically. Okay. So the Bravo account, what they'll do is they'll have people, conduct live interviews on their account. And that's how they'll do the promotion for new housewives. And then they'll invite some older housewives on to have a chat with them, a little Ponderosa, if you will. So on, if you hear me, holla if you hear me. Okay. That's what y'all need to do next time you got a new show coming out. Okay. But I might do a separate review on Love and the Nightcap with Carlos King because we got to talk about some other things that's going on, some other bit of excitement that I want to discuss. Okay. So stick around for that. I don't know if I'll do it or not. We'll see. We'll see how I feel. Okay. Now, let's get into this episode of Love and Marriage DC. Y'all let me know in the chatterization what you would rate this episode if you happen to catch it. I'm going to rate this episode an 8. The reason I'm going to rate this episode an 8 because I felt like it was a bit of a transitional episode. Let me tell you the things that I liked. What I liked was that we finally got to see Winter and her family, like her, spending time with her daughter and her son. I felt like that was a scene that we should have probably gotten in episode 1. I think that it was probably a mistake to not have her be a full-time character on the show because I feel like because her storyline is so crucial to what we're watching, I feel like we really needed to see more of her and understand more about this relationship with this man. And I felt like it would have given us a wider berth to have it would have given producers a wider berth to tell her story to completion, to give us a better understanding of this person that we have on the periphery of the cast, especially because that person is integral to the stories that are playing out on the screen. But that's just my opinion. Okay. Now, I also liked the scene where we got everybody in the salt bathroom. Okay. Just because I also know these individuals, I think that also lends itself to why it was so intriguing to me because I felt like to see, Terry, okay, the lady tell these people about themselves, I felt like I was all up in it. I was like, now, Miss Terry, I might have to make me an appointment with you. I might have to set me an appointment with you, lady, because you was right on the money about everything. And typically when you watching these types of things and you see somebody like a healer on a show or something like that, they play the healer like almost kind of like a caricature. Like they make them seem kind of like offbeat, and the person ain't usually right about what they talking about. But this was one of the rare episodes of a show that I've seen where the healer was actually official. Okay. And so I like that. I like the deep backstories. This to me felt very reminiscent of one of those old episodes, like in the beginning of Love and Marriage Huntsville. So that was another reason why I gave it an 8, because it really took me back to when I first started watching with Love and Marriage Huntsville, and the pacing and everything about the episode just felt very reminiscent to that. So I did like that. And I just felt like we got some very awkward, interesting interactions that I fully appreciated. And what Love and Marriage Huntsville does and Love and Marriage DC does, I think just the Love and Marriage franchise does in general, that is very different from what we see on other reality TV shows, is they will extend a scene until they finish the scene. Okay. Like they don't leave us hanging on a scene. In general, they don't. Okay. And I like that. We will see that scene through to completion. Okay. Because I thought that scene with Monique and Ashley and Chris and DJ Quicksilver was going to end right at that commercial on that awkward note. But nope, they came right back after commercial break and they picked that thing up. And Love and Marriage Huntsville will do the exact same thing. Like they will extend the scene and they don't care. Okay. And I like that a lot. Now, with that being said, let me know what you guys would rate the episode down in the chatterization and let me know why. Okay. Now, with that out of the way, let's go ahead and dive into it. I'm not gonna take this, I'm not gonna take forever. You know what I'm saying? But we're gonna go through the points like we need to go through them. All right. So, anyway, we start the episode with DJ Quicksilver, and he has been in pain with his wrist. And initially, I thought it was some type of, a carpal tunnel syndrome. You know what I'm saying? Where in the hand and in the wrist area, you got all types of issues from the overuse of the wrist. But what we find out is that the wrist is inflamed. Okay. And we learned that it could be the gout. Okay. It could be the gout in the wrist, or it could be the arthritis. Either way, it's going to require some lifestyle changes, cutting out some of the alcohol while you're DJing. Might have to wear a brace for 4 to 6 weeks, and he could lose function of the wrist and his ability to work and DJ. So Ashley cautions him to scale back and slow down. Let me tell you something. That was another reason why, personally, I wanted to get out of DJing, because as you get a little bit older and older and older and things like that, for me, when I was DJing, I was drinking. Like you be on the clock and you at a club or you at a festival or something like that, a big event, and it just having a little bit of libations, you know what I'm saying? It will definitely help and get you through. But I have had so many DJing events that I've done where I have been like completely wasted. But I was still able to do my job. Don't get it twisted. But it kind of just comes with the territory. You know what I'm saying? So if you are somebody who I feel like, and don't get me wrong, I could do it sober too. Trust. Okay. But at the end of the day, I feel like it comes apart. It's a part of that lifestyle. So that would be very hard to change, especially if you're used to like drinking and celebrating while you DJing, because it's just part of the fun. You got it comes with the territory, people. It comes with the territory. Anyway, Arena and her daughter Brittany are out for dinner and drinks, and she recaps the argument she had from last episode with Jamie about him getting mad at her because she showed up to the jamboree late or something. I don't really know what he was mad about, to be honest with you. But anyway, Brittany is like, she feels like Jamie just kind of tells them what to do and whatnot. And what we're really doing is building up to this moment that we're going to have later on with Terry and Jamie, wherein basically she tells Jamie that he's a bully. Okay. Which is funny to me, because when you meet Jamie in real life, like and maybe because they probably know him a lot better, obviously. But when you meet Jamie in real life, Jamie is smooth as, I mean, as butter. Like he just got a smooth, laid back personality. So it's very interesting getting to know his character on the show because we really get more of an informed opinion about Jamie, but we don't get it through Jamie's lens. We get it through the lens of Orena and the kids. I feel like Jamie is holding back on the show. And this realization just hit me as I was talking. And I'm sorry, Jamie, I got to say it. But I do feel like we're getting more about Jamie from the people in his life than we are getting from Jamie as a character on the show. And I think it is because of his, just maybe it's just his personality type, where he's not trying to put all his personal and private business, in terms of like his relationships and stuff like that out on the streets. But he is very stern in his opinions and his thoughts and what he wants for his family and his life. So that part we get. But in terms of going deeper, we ain't got there yet. Like we've kind of gotten with Chris, and like we've kind of gotten with Quick. So it'll be interesting to see that personality open up as we move forward. Okay. Because I feel like him and Orena can possibly give us some very interesting vibes as we move forward. But that's just, I mean, we got to get Jamie to open up a bit more. So once we see that, I feel like we'll be able to really get into his personality. I kind of want Jamie to get to the space where he feels comfortable enough, like a Marceau, you know what I'm saying, or a Martell. And whether we like those characters or not, I feel like they don't care if we like them or not. But that's what we find interesting about them, is that they don't care. And so I want Jamie to open up to that point. Okay. But that's just me. Anyway, Monique and Chris are meeting at the Silver's house for some vegan side dishes and things. But ain't no chef at the Silver's house because they're like, we ain't rolling like that. Y'all gonna get these red plastic solo cups and this takeout. Okay. I ain't mad at it either. Anyway, so as soon as they get there, Monique stage dives right into what they got to talk about. And for me, I think that this goes back to Monique being a reality TV personality on a different show. In my mind, Monique probably said, okay, y'all, we don't have all night for this scene. So we need to get what we need to get so we can get to stepping, okay? Because one of the things that Carlos said recently on his podcast was basically that for his shows, they will spend hours and hours filming so they can get what they need to get. Monique, being an experienced reality TV personality, is used to kind of just going into the scene. Let's open it up. Let's get to the discussion. Let's have the Ponderosa. I have got these kids at home. We're going to get this thing out of the way. But in doing so, because Monique is a talker, Monique will get to talking and talking and talking and talking and talking. Personally, I like it because it's like when you in a conversation with her, you just be in it, right? But if you're not a talker like that, then you're gonna be looking like Ashley was looking like this girl is going on. And the way they played out Monique talking in this episode, I cried. Anyway, as soon as Monique stage dives into the event that Ashley had, okay. And she says she feels like Ashley is owed an apology. Ashley was not prepared to be talking about winter tonight. Okay. So Monique, the way the camera plays it is that she is going on and on and on and on and on and on about it. Ashley doesn't know what to believe and who to believe. And Quick says he don't care, but he does feel like Winter just wanted to embarrass Ashley because she felt like she got clowned at that first initial cast dinner. Now, Quick says they've been in the business for a while, so they are accustomed to rumors. But he's really mad because he feels like everybody played Ashley at her own event. And then it gets awkward and we go to commercial break. So I thought they was going to lead the scene like this. If this had been Housewives, that scene would have been over on an awkward note. But no, because it is Love and Marriage franchise, we're gonna finish this thing. Okay. And so Monique's when we get back from commercial, Monique doesn't want them to think that she was trying to start any mess with them. And Quick is like, we don't want no type of mess either. But I'm gonna tell y'all the truth as a viewer, I need a little mess. And I'm just gonna be real about it. I'm not gonna fake it. I need a little bit of mess, okay, a little bit of chaos and confusion because it's fun to watch, okay? We're going to be all the way real with it. It's fun to watch. Now, I don't need y'all to get down and dirty and try to break up marriages and things like that, but give me some a little chaos and confusion, okay? Because I feel like that's what makes the show. Meanwhile, Ashley feels like she wishes that Winter had just said that her apology wasn't good enough for her, and she also relays that Winter told her she was aggressive. Monique wants to get the two of them together to squash it. She said she called her intuitive energy healer because she wanted to get that negative energy off of her. And Quick is interested. He want to go too, and then he found out that the lady will touch up on you and things like that. And then Monique had to let him know. I mean, it ain't that type of party, Quick. And he looked a little relieved. Okay, so anyway. Winter is with her two of the four kids that she has from her previous marriage, and she tells them that she's moving forward from the divorce with Kevin. Now, her daughter, I like this scene a lot because sometimes we can get a lot of what a character is like through their children. And this scene and seeing her interact with her kids was something that I felt like if you aren't really as familiar with her persona based on because we get a lot more of the other characters on the show, except for when Winter is in conflict. So it is nice to see her not in conflict and to see her kids be so supportive of her, even though she feels like she got played and she should have recognized the signs. The kids are like, listen, lady, don't feel played because the man came up in here. He love bombed you, manipulated you, bought you all types of things, wined you, dined you, took you on trips, bought you all the clothes, and he showered you with attention and all the diamond deals and whatnot. And so they said, you know what, girl, it ain't your fault. Okay. And so she's appreciative of them. Meanwhile, Monique gets Ashley and Winter together. Winter believes that there was confusion in how Monique had conveyed the information to Ashley. Winter realizes that she says that she was just going to Monique and venting, but she feels like Monique went and tried to defend her and find out what was really going on. So Winter feels like, girl, I was just telling you what happened. Like, from my perspective, I was venting about everything. That conversation, I didn't want it to go nowhere, okay? But she realizes that Monique was like, oh, I need to get to the bottom of this because if you was feeling some type of way, I need to find out why you felt like that because that's not what I was leaving you with, okay? Anyway, Monique just says, you know what, I'm not getting involved no more, okay? I'm done. And so Ashley is still feeling some type of way. So Winter apologizes for bringing the mess to her, but she says that she doesn't like that Ashley called her a B, okay? Because Winter does not believe in calling a black woman a B, okay? And so Ashley is like, I don't care if you are black, white, Puerto Rican, Haitian, green, yellow, whatever you may be. If you talk about my husband, I am going to call you all types of B words. And that's just that on that, okay? Monique tries to smooth everything over, and Ashley realizes that Monique is just trying to protect herself. At least that's what she's saying in her confessional. And so Ashley just wants to get the issues out so they don't have any more conversations, so they ain't got to have no more ponderosas because she don't want to talk to this girl really no more. Okay, she just want to end it on a positive note, and they toast to just keeping it easy, but Ashley still don't want to be friends. So anyway, everybody meets up at the energy healer, minus Winter and Kevin, who probably need the energy readings the most. But anyway, Jamie and Arena are nervous because they head in, as they head into the salt bath, because he said he don't really believe in it. Au contraire, mon frere. Anyway, Terry, the energy healer, calls out his insecurities and how it comes out as aggression. And she points out that he pushes people away, and she recommends that he not say anything from this point forward and just listen when people are talking to him. She also is getting a picture of a man leaning over somebody as a bully, and she recommends that they talk about those instances where he feels that he's feeling insecure. Arena points out that Terry is spot on, and even Jamie has to recognize that she might be right. Now with Quick, she recognizes, she sees all these number 9s. And so at the age of 9, we realized that that was when Quick learned that his mom had cancer. Okay. Now his mom passed from cancer, from what I gather basically here. He admits that he's always been worried about good things turning into bad things. And she tells him that he's missing out on life and living the surface level and not really living that deep. He also talks about his dad, how his dad passed and left him feeling, and they realize that Quick has a lot of healing to do. Again, I like this moment right here. I like this moment right here, and I want to go visit Terry for myself. Anyway, apparently she's right down the street. But anyway, Terry tells Chris not to live through Monique. Okay, and I was like, well, Lord, she done had a conversation with them before. And so then Chris recognizes that it means that he needs to pursue his own passions in coaching. And Monique takes it a step further and encourages him to move into his passions and not into what Monique is passionate about. And I think that's just this is really, Chris in a different life as a dad and as a husband, coming from somebody who used to, his whole life was, obviously the NFL. And so now he just needs to figure out what it is that he wants to do next. Okay. But she tells them, y'all need to talk about that later, not today. She moves right on, and Terry tells Arena that she's covering up and she's trying to be perfect, and she breaks down crying because she realizes that it's true. And her issue with Jamie is to be aware that he needs to be there for her, because as she's breaking down and crying, he's just sitting there looking around like, and I'm like, man, if you don't put your hand on her leg, if you don't wrap her up in a warm embrace, Chris Brown, if you don't just grab her and hold her and lean her head on your shoulder or something, okay? And she basically got to show him in her confessional what he needed to do. And I'm like, Jamie, your wife is crying. The tears are flowing. What you gonna do, brother? Okay. Anyway, in closing, she tells Chris to talk about the things that she recommended, not just think about it. I was like, oh, Terry, Miss Terry, you is going in on Chris today. Why? Why, Lord? Why? Anyway, so Quick meets up with his brothers at his dad's gravesite, and they reflect on how they were raised to not show emotion or show weakness, and they reflect on their need to heal. And Quick brings a letter that their mom wrote to them before she passed. And I don't even know how he made it through that scene, because I wouldn't have been able to do it. But surely enough, he does get through it. Next week, we get Arena having a showdown Ponderosa with Winter, and it's not looking like it's going to go too well. Let me know what you guys thought about this week's episode of Love and Marriage DC in the chatterization down below. Let me know if you agree with my points or if you saw something different. I want to hear what you got to say. Comment down below. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, and I will catch you in the next video.